The first frame crashes straight into total scale. An entire city carved into solid volcanic rock deep beneath the Earth's surface. No sun reaches this space, but the dark does not stay dead. Rivers of molten gold and liquid iron creep along hand-carved stone channels. The glow from the molten metal paints every cave wall a brutal, searing orange. It paints every crevice, every crack in the stone, turning solid rock into something that breathes heat. An underground river cuts straight through the cavern's heart. Water wheels turn steadily against its current, each rotation pulling a chain, cogs clicking into place one after another. The first hammer falls. It crashes down onto a giant iron anvil. The whole cavern shakes with the impact. Dust loosens from the ceiling. The vibration travels up through the soles of the feet, into the bones. Another strike follows, then another, the rhythm steady and unrelenting. This is no small cluster of forges tucked into a cave corner. It is a full industrial city, harnessing the Earth's own core energy to feed its endless work. Ancient steampunk machinery hums low beside hand-carved stone pillars. Old craft and large-scale industry weave together, creating an overwhelming living heartbeat deep under the mountain. The camera pulls in tight, narrowing down from the great cavern to a single clay crucible at the main forge's center. Liquid starmetal glows from within, but the fire wrapping the crucible holds no trace of the searing orange that paints the cavern walls. It burns a brilliant, mystical blue, casting cold, bright light that cuts through the surrounding heat. The light spills across the blacksmith's hands as he holds his position over the pot. He stands completely still, no shift of weight, no twitch of muscle. Only his low chant moves through the air, deep and steady, resonant enough to feel through the stone at your feet. His eyes glow with the same faint blue as the fire, matching the flame beat for beat. For a long moment, nothing changes. The metal holds still, bright and liquid, trapped in the clay. Then, the first ripple crosses the surface. Faint at first, almost too small to see. It spreads outward, then pulls back toward the center. The ripples grow stronger. The liquid metal climbs the sides of the crucible, twisting and turning as it rises, pulled by something no ordinary hammer can move. It tightens into a perfect spinning vortex, rotating faster and faster around the empty core. Sparks fly outward from the center of the swirl, each leaving a faint blue trail that lingers in the dark air before it fades. This is no ordinary smelting. Uru-guk's craft does not stop at physical skill. It binds the work of metal with the power of spirit, turning raw ore into something more than steel can ever be. The camera drifts away from the spinning vortex, drifting slow across the stone floor of the forge, to settle on the finished work. It rests on a rough-hewn stone anvil, already shaped, already cooled, waiting. The blade is forged from dark meteoric iron, folded 100 times through the blue fire, before it held its final shape. The blue glow from the crucible's fire catches the blade's side, and the light reveals what the dark hid. The grain of the folded metal, layered so finely it looks like woven mist shifting across the dark surface. Green jade runes are inlaid along the full length of the blade, from hilt to tip, each carved perfectly to fit the curve of the steel. They glow with a soft, steady light, unhurried, constant, matching the slow beat of the blacksmith's chant, still hanging in the air. The polished edge runs straight along the blade's curve, so sharp it seems to cleave the light passing over it into two separate streams. No scratch mars the surface. No line of the runes is off-center. Every curve, every angle, every inlay is executed with absolute precision. This single blade is the peak of Uru-guk's craft. No other work of metal in the world can match its balance, its sharpness, or the spiritual power bound into its core. It holds a secret that would echo through thousands of years of Korean history. The distinctive curved bronze daggers of Gojoseon, the advanced weaponry of the Three Kingdoms, all their technical roots trace directly back to this first perfect blade, forged in the blue mystical fire of Uru. The camera climbs high, pulling back from the barracks cavern and through the winding tunnels, until it bursts out above the mountain face for a wide aerial shot. We see the great iron gates of Uru-guk, carved directly into the solid rock of the mountainside. The sun dips lower toward the horizon, painting the entire sky in streaks of deep orange and burnt red. For a long breath, the gates hold still, sealed, hidden. The world outside does not know what burns inside the mountain. Then, the first movement begins. Deep inside the rock, counterweights shift, gears catch and turn. A low, deep rumble starts at the core of the mountain, spreading outward through the stone. The rumble grows into a full mechanical roar, deep enough to vibrate through the soles of your boots if you stood in the valley below. A loose chunk of rock on the slope is jarred free by the vibration, and it skitters down the loose gravel, bouncing off outcroppings until it splashes into the river at the mountain's base. The 1,000-ton iron slabs of the gates begin to grind against their stone hinges, pulling apart slow, inch by inch. No rush, no hurry. This is the power of the earth itself, moving at its own deliberate pace. The polished iron surface of the gates catches the orange light of the burning sunset, reflecting the whole sky like a giant molten mirror. The iron slabs slide into their final grooves, and the grinding stops. The mechanical roar fades to a low hum, leaving the sound of the valley wind to carry the echo. The gates stand fully open. The searing orange of the setting sun hits the iron face of the gates from the side, and it catches the carved lines running along the full width of the stone. One by one, 12 distinct symbols light up against the dark iron. Each mark corresponds to one of the 12 member nations that bound themselves to the Hwan-guk Confederation. Each symbol is deep carved, worn smooth by centuries of wind, still sharp enough to hold the light. The glow from the forges inside the mountain spills past the open gates, spilling down the slope, painting the valley grass a faint, burning orange. It mixes with the dying sunset light, blending the fire of the sky with the fire of the earth. This is Uru-guk, the beating heart of Hwan-guk, the nation of fire and steel that holds the power of the 12 Confederate nations. Its strength echoes still in the creak of the iron gates. Its legacy burns on, unbroken, in the blue fire of its forges, waiting to echo through thousands of years of history.